Student meteorologist Matthew Wisnett, and welcome into tonight's edition of FSU Weather. As we look outside here at Doak, you can see the clouds are scattering for a nice sunset here as we're sitting in the low 80s overall. And around the Big Bend, we're also sitting at those upper 70s and lower 80s for the most part. Just great weather to be outside and enjoying your Friday evening. There's some scattered showers in the area right now, but they should push off into the night, with our temperatures starting to decrease into the upper 60s and lower 70s, looking for a great evening tonight if you're going to go enjoy some basketball games, or if you're going to the FSU volleyball game at 6:30. We look at tomorrow. It's going to warm up into the low 80s with a couple of clouds here and there, but overall it will be a little bit warmer than we normally like to see. The headlines tonight: the temperatures will be decreasing a little bit with a cold front possible as we go into next week, and a rain and severe threat for the Midwest. And the latest on Raphael and the next area to watch. All of this and next on FSU Weather.
Yeah, thanks for that overview, Matthew. Taking a live look at Doak here, you can see a nice, beautiful sunset over the stadium right now. A much prettier sight than some of the football games we've been seeing here lately over the past season. And as we look at the temperatures around our area right now, sitting at 80 degrees here in Tallahassee and Perry as well. And our surrounding areas just a bit lower, up in the upper 70s, around 78, 77 degrees. As we look at our radar at the moment, you can see overall it's decently clear, but a few pop-up showers here and there around the Panhandle. And as we move into the future, we can see those storms will move out of the area heading into the late night hours of tonight. But as we get into the afternoon hours of tomorrow, you can see maybe some more showers and cloud coverage coming over the area, and maybe a few showers up there in parts of South Georgia as well. But overall, for the most part, not too bad weather. And as we look at our temperature almanac, you can see our high today actually tied the record in Tallahassee of 87 degrees from 2005. So clearly Florida has not gotten the memo that it is supposed to be fall. Still very much in these summertime temperatures and way off that average of 75 degrees in our high and 50 degrees in our low. Our low is actually our average high, which is not the kind of temperatures I want to be seeing personally at this time of year. Looking at tonight, though, temperatures will drop to 69 degrees with some light winds. And it'll be pretty much a similar story over most of our viewing area here. Everybody sitting around either side of that 70-degree mark, possibly a few warmer temperatures down there near the south parts of Florida near the coast. Now, tomorrow, FSU football takes on number 10 Notre Dame. So going to be a bit of a tough game, especially with the season we've been having. Hopefully the boys can pull out that elusive second win we've been trying for. But weather for that game is looking pretty decent, nice clear skies. Will be a bit chilly though, sitting at 48 degrees at 7 p.m. and dropping to 42 by 11. So if you happen to be heading over there for the game, definitely probably going to want to bring some sort of jacket and pants, something to cover up because it will be a bit chilly. As far as our dog walking forecast back here in Tallahassee though, temperatures looking a lot more warm with 70 degrees at 7 a.m. and warming up to about 79 degrees as you get towards the afternoon. Now, additionally, with the pool, weather also looking pretty nice. We've got good conditions with temperatures sitting around that 80-degree mark. Nice cloud coverage, make it not too warm. Could be a perfect day to get out in the pool on your Saturday and start that 3-day weekend that we've all been looking forward to. And as we look at the beach forecast, pretty much a similar story. Sitting around 80 degrees, cloudy, and parts of sun. Looking at tomorrow, temperatures will be a bit cooler than they have been today. You can see mostly sitting around that 80-degree mark. 81 here in Tallahassee, and other parts sitting in the upper 70s, as well as near the coast, 78 degrees and 79 in Carabel. And as far as your 7-day forecast, you can see still going to be pretty warm for most part, but as we head into later parts of the week, we could see things start to cool down a bit. You can see that 78-degree high on Friday. Hopefully we start to see some cooler weather in Florida. And let's take a zoom out and actually look at the whole state of Florida with Oceana.
Thanks, Tyler. So the rest of the state is actually seeing very warm temperatures just like us. Here we are looking at a beautiful sunset. Look at all those pinks and reds and purples in PCB right now. All across the area, though, it is starting to get dark thanks to that lovely daylight savings time that we just stepped into. For our current temperatures all across the board for the entire state, we are sitting pretty warm, especially for this time of night. Now that the sun has set, 80 in Miami and 85 in Tampa, 75 in Jacksonville. Now to head closer to my hometown just a bit, we are going to look at Fort Myers. Monday is the day to look out for your rain chances. Highs though, upper 80s for the next 4 days. We are going to be nearing 90 degrees into the middle of November here in South Florida. As for Tampa, very, very similar story. Very warm, 88 Sunday and 88 Tuesday. These are your highs. Lows will be in the lower 70s, nearing the 60s on Monday, but unfortunately we will not be getting in there in Tampa. For Orlando, again, very similar for the entire state of Florida. Monday is the day to look out for your chance of rain. Mid to high 80s for your highs and lower 70s for your lows, but you're going to have to catch those really early in the morning or later at night. Jacksonville, Sunday is actually the day to look out for rain. 40% chance, but of course it is elevated. 81 degrees on Saturday and Sunday, and then your lows will actually dip down into the upper 60s on Monday and Tuesday, so I suggest getting out really early if you want to feel some type of fall temperatures. Pensacola, Monday is your day and Sunday for your showers and storms. Just an upper chance at 60%. Your highs aren't reaching the 80s actually in Pensacola, which is a nice change. Now for South Florida radar, we are going to have a few scattered storms pulling in from the Atlantic, but nothing severe at all, especially in Central Florida, relatively clear as far as the radar. For North Florida, like we mentioned earlier, just some scattered storms, isolated storms, I would say, pushing into Tallahassee and around our area, but much of that rain really passed by yesterday and Wednesday, thankfully, but unfortunately it did leave us with some very humid dew points. For our future radar, a lot of these showers will clear out of the state going into the weekend, just leaving us with some very warm temperatures and some isolated showers here and there come towards Sunday. For tonight in Florida, 72 in Tampa, 71 Fort Myers, 71 Pensacola, 69 in Jacksonville. So we will dip down a little bit cooler tonight. Tomorrow will be a very similar story to today. Highs in the mid to upper 80s for the entire state of Florida. Now, Daniela, we're going to zoom out even more into the southeast. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, thank you, Oceana. So across the southeast, it's a lot like Florida, above average temperatures for this time of year, but we are looking at some beautiful sunsets. We see a beautiful sunset over Tampa, 85 degrees, 62 in Nashville, a little bit cooler as we go farther north, 79 in New Orleans, a little bit overcast, but Birmingham, Alabama is looking like a great view at 73 degrees as that sunset is beginning to go away. Currently, across the southeast, we do have some scattered showers and storms, some that will begin to enter the area later on into tonight and tomorrow. But as we go farther north, we definitely see a lot more clear skies to enjoy in terms of the radar. But as we zoom into the next day or so, we do see some showers and thunderstorms developing, entering into Louisiana, Mississippi, northern Alabama, and western Tennessee. That's definitely something to look out for. Parts of South Georgia can possibly see scattered showers as well as the Big Bend. But the big story here across the southeast is really looking at the severe weather entering Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama tomorrow. We especially can see a possible flood threat as Alexandria can see over 2 inches of rain going into this Veterans Day weekend. And even the WPC has had moderate flood potential for central Louisiana and slight flood potential for Mississippi, Tennessee, and northern Alabama as well. And a big concern with that is because we have been having a lot of dry conditions. Southeast has not seen a lot of rain in the last couple of months, and now with the amount of rain that we are going to see, the possible for flash flood threats going into this weekend in the areas we will see heavier rain. Currently across the southeast, we do see mostly 70s, possibly some mid-80s as we move into the Florida Peninsula. As we move farther north and west, we do see some 60s. We see 60 in Little Rock right now, and even 62 in Nashville, 72 in Shreveport. It gets a little warmer as we get closer to the Gulf Coast. And as we move into the heat index, of course, because we have high dew points right now, it is feeling a little bit warmer right now than what it usually feels like outside because of the humidity. But going into tonight, we are going to see a little bit of a drop in Nashville at 52, and 56 even in Charlotte. But most of the southeast is going to stay pretty mild in the 60s and 70s overnight tonight with some cloudy conditions. But as we move into Memphis, Tennessee for this weekend, hopefully you have your rain jackets in handy if if you're planning to go to for Veterans Day, we have 80% chance of rain going into Saturday, 60% for Sunday. Temperatures are going to mostly stay on either side of 70, but look forward to Monday for Veterans Day. We will see some sunny skies and moving into some rain as we see overnight. But as we move into New Orleans for this weekend, we do have some rain expected for Veterans Day, so keep a lookout for that. But as we move into tomorrow's forecast, more warm temperatures sitting in the 70s and 80s as well. But we will take a look and switch over to Priscilla and Matthew on updates on Raphael.
Yes, thank you, Daniela. Hurricane Raphael was looking poised towards Louisiana for several days, but now has shifted more towards a southwesterly track, heading more towards Mexico.
Yeah, it started to deteriorate a little bit from how strong it was earlier, which is a good sign for a lot of people who are seeing some of those storms from it in New Orleans, as those storms will kind of decrease in their strength just a little bit.
Yes, and with its track again, it is going to be heading southwestward down towards Mexico. But that doesn't change some other environmental factors that we're going to be feeling here in the States, such as increased water vapor and potential for winds, especially around the southern Gulf Coast of Mexico. So definitely something to keep in mind as we near the end of hurricane season, but it's not quite over yet.
Yeah, we will be keeping our eye on the tropics to see if anything else develops towards the end of November. And we're looking at the radar now to see, you can see the rain that comes with Raphael. You're going to see it as it starts to collapse a little bit on itself, but that rain will start pulling itself out a little bit and start moving towards New Orleans. So if you are in those areas, be aware that you will see a considerable amount of rainfall this weekend, so be prepared for those flash floods.
Yes, and especially with those winds as well. We're going to be feeling some winds, especially in the southern Louisiana area. But another thing to keep in mind is potential for flash floodings, especially considering all the drought we've been having recently. But looking ahead, there is a chance of tropical development, or about 10% for the next 10 days around the Caribbean islands.
Yeah, we will be watching that to see if anything develops. Right now, it's only a 10% chance, so a very low chance at this point, but it is something that we will continue to watch as the season starts to wind down just a little bit.
So make sure you listen to your local authorities and keep an eye on the tropics, and make sure you have all of your emergency supplies ready, because you never know when the next tropical event is going to strike. But now Oceana is going to give us a look at the national forecast. Tell us what's going on.
Thanks, Priscilla. So moving out nationally, we can see that there are some very different weather patterns happening across the United States. Right here in the Midwest, we are going to be seeing some more snow finally into winter. Here we go. For the rest of the country, 54 in Kansas, 79 in New Orleans, 60 in Seattle. We are sitting pretty much above average for most of the country right now as far as our temperatures. See how muggy it is in the southeast specifically. Our dew points are in the mid to upper 70s as well. But of course, the western portion of the country is sitting really dry. Now, we do have some threat for severe weather in the Midwest as well, and then also the chance for snow is going to be prevalent coming in the next few days and overnight tonight. As for our storm outlook today, we have a marginal risk for some portions of Texas, but a very widespread non-severe risk for much of the Midwest into Oklahoma, Kansas, and all around that region. As far as the very small part into Dallas is when we have a slight risk of severe weather, so that is definitely when you really want to heed to those warnings and pay attention to your local government. For our storm outlook for day 2, this is into tomorrow, it really decreases in chances for severe weather. Luckily, this is just a chance for non-severe thunderstorms. Now looking into our rainfall outlook, we have quite a bit, slight actually chance for heavy rainfall here in the northeast into West Virginia and pulling into Pennsylvania. But we will have a marginal risk all around those areas, spreading into Kentucky and up into Michigan as well. For tonight's temperatures all across the country, the only areas dipping into below freezing temperatures are Denver and Albuquerque near the Rockies, where we will see that snowstorm. But tomorrow's temperatures will be right back up, nobody below freezing for tomorrow. Now we're going to move things over to Tyler to really hone in on the Rockies.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Oceana. As we can see with our live radar right now, you got Winter Storm Anya absolutely pummeling areas of Colorado and New Mexico right now with lots of precipitation. And as we move to looking at the actual future radar and clouds, you see all that snow moving through parts of eastern Colorado throughout tonight and it's Saturday as well. Maybe finally getting out of their area as we get into the evening hours tomorrow. And that's been sticking around for a while, and you can really see how much it's been affecting them with these snow values still to come. You can see most areas getting around 2 to 3 inches of snow, and Lincoln getting close to 10 inches of snow still to come. NWS or local NWS offices are calling for some historic snowfall in Lincoln, and while 10 inches alone may not seem super historic, you can really see how historic it's been with the snow that's already fallen. You can see La Veta Pass is at 37 inches right now, 37 inches already fallen. Cuchera at 34.7 inches. San Isabel at 32.3. Lots of areas getting in and around that 30-inch mark, with close to, most areas getting 3 inches still remaining, and some up to 10, particularly Lincoln. So those are your snow reports for Colorado. And as you look at New Mexico as well, it's a very similar story with this snowfall. Rosciada getting at 36 inches there, and snowfall amounts dropping a little bit as you move to other areas, but everybody around 24 inches. Las Vegas getting 24 inches, and this snowfall has really been affecting the area. I know a lot of schools have been closed in and around Denver and Colorado. Some snow plows have actually been getting stuck on the roads with the impacts of this snowfall. So really been a historic winter storm, and it's only the beginning of the season, so could be more to come. But now let's shift our focus. Priscilla, what's going on in the central U.S.?
Yeah, so we see a lot of snow over in the Denver, Colorado area, but something we're taking a look at is also lots of rain in the central U.S., especially through portions of Texas, Oklahoma, and Nebraska. That could lead to some severe weather throughout the next couple of days. So right now we're taking a look at our tornado outlook. So we've got a moderate and then an enhanced risk for tornadoes. So, definitely keep this in mind. Make sure you have all of your warning devices on full volume so that you can hear if there may be a tornado watch or warning. So currently we've got some active tornado watches in these counties near east central Texas. So if you're in those areas south of Dallas, definitely make sure you have your safe space ready and you've got all of your family accounted for in this time, because it is going to be definitely a situation to look out for and keep in mind as we're going throughout the next couple of days, and especially as we head into Louisiana, which could also see threats from that system making its way over there. But to get a little educational, let's take a look again at what exactly is the difference between a watch and a warning. So watch is basically conditions are favorable, we've got all of the ingredients, but with a warning, that's when our cake is in the oven and there's definitely a tornado has been spotted either on radar or in person, and danger is imminent. So keep this in mind. If you hear a warning, go to shelter immediately. Do not wait and do not hesitate. But as we look into the future radar, that's really giving us this full view of this system that's really got this incredible rotation with really a lot of the bands into Dallas moving eastward into Louisiana, and that's what we're going to be seeing throughout the next couple of days. So keep that in mind and stay safe and weather aware. But now Matthew is going to give us a look at the lifestyle.
Yeah, as we look outside the areas in Tallahassee for your plans this weekend, you have a beautiful sunset in Panama City campus, and you have some clouds over in St. George Island as well as the Sportsplex. So if you're going out tonight, play some sports, be aware it might be a little cooler thanks to those clouds. So watch the wet grounds. As we look for tonight's forecast, you're going to see those clouds will stick around and they will help stabilize the temperatures in the lower 70s overall. So if you're looking for that late game of basketball or soccer, be aware it might be a little bit more hot than you might expect. If you're going for a dog walk tomorrow, walking this beautiful dog here, just be aware it might get a little bit warmer into those 80s for you tomorrow. So you're going to want that that t-shirt and shorts, as it will be on the warmer side. Same thing with the pool. It might be a little cooler for us here in Florida who don't like the pool to be so cold at this time of year, but it will be in the lower 80s, so maybe a great time to go outside and enjoy the sun. Same thing at the beach, but watch out for those rip currents as they will be high. So if you're going to the beach, be aware of the rip currents. Make sure you stay near adults or somewhere safe because of the rip currents that are going to be very strong tomorrow. If you're flying out tomorrow, it's no delays. Very good time to fly out of Tallahassee. And overall, there is some delays here in Fort Worth thanks to that rain, as well as Denver because they're experiencing that snow, as Tyler already mentioned. We look at the backyard forecast, a great time to go outside and have a barbecue, as hopefully our FSU Noles will get an elusive second victory over Notre Dame, as we will be sitting at 84 degrees with some possible rain tomorrow. So be aware of that if you're making any outdoor plans. For the Sportsplex tonight, if you are for some reason going to play soccer in the dark, make sure that you are using safety precautions, as it will be a little bit warmer than it usually is, but make sure that you are taking the precautions. We look at the nightlight tonight. If you're heading out, it will be clear, a little bit on the warmer side for the most part, but let's take one last look locally, Danielle.
Yes, thank you, Matthew. So, one last look into our Doak right now as the sun's going down. We see some beautiful blues and purples across behind Doak Campbell Stadium, currently across the Big Bend in South Georgia. We're seeing either side of 80, but mostly the upper 70s across the region. And as we take a look into the radar, we see a couple of possible scattered showers moving into the area, but most of the other areas, well, not everyone will be seeing rain right now, but most of the areas are staying clear. And in terms of the temperatures today, we actually tied a record high from 2005 of 87 degrees, and our low today was 75, which actually ties our average high for today. So we've definitely been seeing above average temperatures across the Big Bend, and that is still continuing on for several days. But as we move into tonight, we see a little bit of a cool down, but it's going to be still pretty humid. 69 degrees is the forecasted low. A little bit of a breeze from the east northeast at 4 miles an hour, but most of the region can expect to see overcast conditions overnight either side of 70, 69 in Quincy, 71 Tallahassee and St. Mark's, a little bit warmer, 74 and 73 in Apalachicola and Carabel respectively, as it's a little bit warmer as we get closer to the coast. But for the game day forecast, if you are traveling to South Bend, it will be clear, but it will be very chilly, unlike what we have been experiencing here in Florida. So my fellow Floridians traveling up there, make sure to bring those layers for tomorrow night if you're planning to watch the game. Tomorrow afternoon, we're mostly going to see upper 70s and some low 80s across the region. A little bit of a cool down than what we've been seeing this week, but still, if you're planning to still vibe with the summer temperatures, tomorrow's a great day to go out and enjoy the pool. It's going to be in the low 80s, and for your Veterans Day weekend, that will be very nice. As we move into the 7-day, we're going to see rain dwindle from the forecast, but we're going to mostly see the mid-80s and lows dipping into the 60s. Maybe towards the end of the week, cold front will bring us some 50s. But overall, a lot happening across the country for a change. It's been kind of quiet the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been quiet here, but it's been very loud everywhere else. But even though it's been really frustrating to have these hot temperatures for a while, I'm just glad that hopefully they'll be going away soon, but also that we're safe here. But check in on your family and friends that might be in the Colorado area or especially East Central Texas, because those are definitely some tough conditions to bear out there.
Yeah, so definitely, at least some people in the country are starting to see cold temperatures, but definitely seeing an extreme with those blizzards. It's still dangerous, even though they're seeing colder temperatures. Definitely, that heavy snowfall is still a threat to a lot of people there. And across the rest of the country, we are still seeing above average temperatures across the southeast, and a lot of us are praying that we will get a cold front to finally have us get a little bit feel like fall very soon.
Yeah, but at least this weekend we get a day off. Veterans Day is on Monday, so enjoy the nice temperatures while you can and that day off, because here in the studio we'll definitely be studying for our next dynamics exam next week. So enjoy that break.
Is that how you're going to spend your Veterans Day?
Hopefully not, but probably will.
That's probably how I'm going to spend mine too.
All right, make sure to follow us on Twitter at FSU Weather.
And be sure to also like us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And make sure to also follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
And don't forget, if you haven't already, to subscribe to us on YouTube at FSU Weather.
And we're also on TikTok. You could see something from us very soon at FSU Weather. But I'm student meteorologist Priscilla Vijalta.
And I'm student meteorologist Daniela Streety, and here's your last look at the 7-day.